So we've converted from different bases to base 10 by multiplying and adding. We've copied down those notes. Now, kind of the thinking part of this lesson is when we convert from base 10 to other bases. And a lot of times I like to think about it as like division with remainders. That's probably my best explanation. And so we start with some easy numbers like 8 in base 10. How could I convert that to a base 5? So using the division example, I would say how many 5s are in 8? And you'd say there's 1 5 in 8. And then how many are left over? 3 left over. So then the number in base 5 would be 1 3. That would mean there's 3 1s and 1 5. And if I add those up, I should get to the number 8. Let's try another example. Let's just try 13. 13 in base 10. And let's again go to 5. How many 5s are in 13? You'd say there's 2 5s. And again, there's 3 left over. So that number would be 2 3 in base 5. Let's convert into some other bases. Again, just small numbers using our division example. 6 in base 10. If we want to convert it to base 4, you'd say how many 4s are in 6? You'd say there's 1 4, and then there would be 2 left over. Great. How many 3s are in 10 or in 6? You'd say there are 2 3s, and there's 0 left over. Don't forget to hold the place, even if there's 0 of them. So let's kind of ramp it up a little bit. If we have larger numbers and we want to convert, over on the side of our paper I need to see 1s, 7 to the 1, 7 squared, and probably 7 cubes. So I want to know what those numbers are. So this is one where you're going to want to, maybe rewatch. So as we write these numbers down, we say what's the largest one that can go in? And 343 can go into 365. So you'd say there's 343 in there. And then what will be left over? So over here on the side, I'm going to do a little subtraction. 365 minus 343. So that would give me 22 left over, which would mean there's 0 49s. How many 7s? So we're just going up the list. How many 7s are in 22? You'd say there's 3 7s. And then I'd subtract off the 21, and I'd have 1 left over. So that number would be 1 0 3 1 in base 7. Now let's practice the skill we learned in the last part of changing this back to base 10 just to see if we're correct. That says 1 7 3 1 1 3 7s 0 49s 1 343. If I add those up, 343 plus 21 plus 1 should be 365. So I kind of checked my answer there. So as we're doing these examples, I would really encourage you to have in your notes, those powers of 7, and now we'll do the powers of 8. And let's see if we need 8 cubed. 8 cubed is 512. So that doesn't go in there. So I don't think we're going to need, but we're definitely going to need 64s, 8s, and 1s. So let's skip this one. And let's go right to 299 divided by 64. And that goes in there 4 times. So we're going to have 4 64s. And 4 64s is 256. So I do my subtraction. 299 minus 256. And I have 43 left over. So then I say, so I had 4 of those. How many 8s am I going to have? How many 8s are in 43? There's going to be 5 8s in 43, which is 40, which means I'm going to have 3 left over. So my number is 4, 5, 3 in base 8. So in your notes, you should definitely have powers of 8, powers of 7, and being ready to do some division and subtraction. Let's just do one more easy example just to see if we're on the right page. Let's do 13 in base 10 into base, let's go into base 3 and base 4. So if I'm doing base 3, I need to say 1s, 3s, 9s, and there's probably not going to be any 27s. But there is a 9. So there's 1, 9, which would have 4 left over. So let's go 13 minus 9 has 4 left over, which has 1, 3, minus 3, which has 1 left over, and 1 left over. So 13 in base 10 into base 3 would actually be 1, 1, 1, base 3. Let's go into base 4. So on the side of my paper I should have 1, 4, 16. But I can see that it's just going to be used the 4s. How many 4s are in 13? 3 4s in 13, with 12 left over, or with 1 left over. So 3, 1, base 4. So let's try our homework, and let's do some practice.